first off, appreciate you coming on. Means the world, brother.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. I saw the last episode with Dre.
Yeah, Drizzy Dre for sure. He had a classic. We went a lot of different routes, to say the least.
Dre, I'm not surprised Dre's talking about aliens. He's obsessed.
Yes.
Turned into a Joe Rogan pod fast.
Oh, real fast.
4 hours.
It wouldn't be right. What is are you into aliens and shit like that, or no? That's just him.
I mean, I'm into it when hanging with Dre. We're always talking about aliens and where they're at. I believe the aliens are in the ocean. So,
Bro,
Yeah.
See, I can get along with that.
Talking about that.
yes.
80-some% unexplored.
Yeah, you got to break that down for me, because
I mean, like from what I've seen and like a couple videos, like a lot of these orbs and these like flying objects like come in and out of the ocean.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, everybody thinks that they're up in outer space. We've been up there. We've been looking around for them, and now we're seeing all this stuff flying around on Earth. 4 times as fast as we can move. Things moving around. So I think they come from the ocean and go back to the ocean.
Safest place to be.
Exactly. We don't know. We don't know 98% of the ocean. So.
No. You think the Titan, whatever, blew up on its own? Somebody was down there just sniping that bad boy down.
Oh no, dude, they went down there in just a rickety tin
tin can.
tin can, dude, and the pressure down there, yeah, that's
With an
I would,
Xbox
advise
controller.
against that.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
R.I.P.
Walk up in the light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him.
Everybody, welcome back to The Rush. It's your boy, Maxx Crosby. I got my brothers, Brogan Roll back, Darian Terrell, Dustin Creel in the building. And today we have a very, very special guest. The legend himself, one of the best teammates I've ever had, period. And I don't say that lightly. OG of all OGs. One of the best guards to ever play the game. The one and only Richie Incognito. Appreciate you coming on, brother. So first off, how are you, bro? What's new? How's life in being a retired vet?
Dude, it's been great, man. Just living, bro. I've been traveling, playing golf.
Yes.
In the off season, I work with a couple offensive linemen, train them down here in Arizona. I'll have a couple guys out in LA training. So still staying close to the game, training guys, coming up, hanging around, coming to the games, being around you guys. But definitely enjoying that downtime and having time to travel and play some golf.
I love it. Home base is Arizona still, right?
Yes, sir. Scottsdale, AZ, baby.
Best place in the world.
Scottsdale.
Best place in the world.
Everyone's like, why you live out there in the desert? I'm like, you got to come down here and experience
You
it.
find out, yeah.
Different world. It's a different world out
I
there.
can give you one reason. The ratio of women to guy is like 10 to 1. That's one solid one for you.
Yeah, that
There it
sucks,
is.
huh?
That's a good
start.
one. That's a solid one.
start.
Smoke shows everywhere, and the golf is good. So win-win.
Richie,
Yeah,
where are
every
you?
corner.
Where are you golfing at? What's your favorite course out there?
So I'm up in North Scottsdale. So we got all the big boys up here: Silverleaf, Whisper Rock, Scottsdale National, Estancia. I play over on the west side a little bit, Blackstone. Right next to my house, we have TPC Scottsdale where they do the Phoenix Open. So I'm right in the middle of it.
What's the handicap looking like?
Dude, I'm down. I'm getting low. I
Going low,
started at
baby.
16. I got down to a 12, and I've been grinding, so I'm down to an
Yes.
8. Sometimes flirt with a 7, so I'm in there.
Hey,
Man.
Oh,
you
shit.
give us hope. Us high handicappers, you're giving us some hope. We just got to retire and hone in.
Yeah, all you need
Proof
is
club.
every day off and a golf simulator in your house.
That'll do it.
That helps.
Hell yeah.
It just depends on the putting, right? If you're going to go low or not.
Hell yeah, bro. And
A big
drive
guy
for the
with
dough.
soft hands,
putt
I
for,
see it
drive
in
for
you.
the show, putt for the dough.
That's
Yep.
right.
That's what my putter
Exactly.
cover says.
Yes. I got a simulator at the house, but I haven't used it yet. I think it's time to put it to use.
Hell yeah, I'd love to see that swing.
I know. I'm a lost cause when it comes to golf. I got a lot of work to do. So I know you mentioned you're talking about you work with some guys in the off season and stuff like that. Do you ever plan on coming back, full time and being like a coach possibly one day, or do you really, see that in your future?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely open to the possibility. I love ball. I love being around the guys. I love grinding. Right now I'm going into my 3rd season out, so I'm just trying to protect the peace, live good. But yeah, I'd always be down to coach. I'd love to come back, coach with the Raiders. Get the O-line going, mentor some guys. So yeah, that's always out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I could definitely see you with the classic Gruden cap, walking in, schmedium t-shirt, getting guys rolling. I could just see it already, bro.
I see him as a
100%.
visor guy more.
No,
more
he's
than
a
anything.
big visor guy, no doubt.
Oh, big visor guy, slamming the clipboard, starting drills over.
Batter and shit.
It wouldn't be right if you weren't slamming clipboards and making dudes start all over. Honestly.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not coaching. I mean, slam a clipboard. You got to chase the play down from behind, talk some shit to Max.
Fuck yeah. Maybe throw on the helmet for a few snaps.
Let me show you how it's done, boys.
This all was done in my day.
How much shit talking went down between you and Max when you were there, or was he a quiet little guy when he was a rookie?
I mean, not much. Like my first experience with Max was coming around the corner in the Oakland locker room, and we had the janky speaker, and Max was just flowing on it. Max was just going hard on the flow, and I was like, "Oh damn, this little white boy from Eastern Michigan, he can rap, bro." And then later in the season, we played the Bengals, and he's just punishing them, and I'm like, "Oh wow, okay, he could play. He could definitely play." And then, you've just seen it come together the last couple of years, just dominant.
Yeah, I think I remember you
appreciate it.
you tweeting after he had those 4 sacks in that Bengals game, Mad Max or something like that.
Mad Max, hell yeah.
Yeah,
That was the coming out party.
it was.
No doubt. No doubt. It was tough, too. Like, leading up to that game, I had, like, a half a sack, and it was, like, week 9 at that point. So I was like, it's just the thing as a rusher. Like, you really have to earn the right to get to the quarterback. And, yeah, it's crazy how that shit worked out.
Sacks are hard to come by. Pressures are great, keep being around the quarterback, but getting him down, that's an art form.
No doubt. No doubt, bro.
It's because quarterbacks are sneaky athletic, and Max just loves to disrespect that.
Here we go. Brogan's a quarterback, by the way. I used to bully his shit, but we didn't get to play each other in a real game, so I guess we'll never
I
know.
just remember, Max, we would do like half-line blitz drills, and we'd have a 3 technique Max and the linebacker, and we knew the linebacker was coming off the edge and Max was coming inside, and he had to get to the A gap. So there was a couple times I overset him just once or twice, and he comes by with that big looping shit. You're like,
There's nothing you can do about it.
but like you're sitting in there and he's coming at you like, where am I going? I'm going inside.
Yeah,
No, those are the best. Those half line, you know exactly where the ball is going. And, a dude like Richie, there's people that have strong hands in the NFL, but there's only 2 people that will forever be stuck in my mind. And one of them's obviously you, and the other one's Tyrone Smith. The first time, I think it was a walkthrough. You probably don't even remember, but it was some type of walkthrough. We're not even in pads yet. We're rookies. And they're like, yeah, you're stunting here. You're going to the B gap. And Richie's taped to the gills. Like, literally taped from the elbow.
Ready for war.
Everything, UFC, biggest tape. His hands look like tennis rackets. And he punched me in the chest one time, like half speed.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different than Eastern. So, yeah, you welcomed me to the NFL a few different ways, but
Hell yeah.
it's legendary,
I
bro.
remember our first camp pulling over there with Hard Knocks, pulling and hitting you, and I was like, oh shit, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I was trying. I was just trying to run through a brick wall, but it was a good time. Those, honestly, it's funny. I was just talking about camp a couple days ago. Like, we went against the Rams. I've gone against the Rams in joint practices 3 times now. And I remember as a rookie, and this is when I knew you were a savage, which most people already knew, but first day, like, it's straight warfare. Like, everyone's brawling each other, beating the shit out of each other. And the first fight, I think, was you and Aaron Donald.
Yep.
I believe it was you and Aaron
Well,
Donald.
it was Gabe and Aaron Donald, and then me
Gabe.
and it was Gabe and Aaron Donald.
You were definitely heavily involved in the fight.
Oh,
But
of course, a little dust up. Got to see what's up.
A little
That's
dust
right.
up.
Get your
But those are
best
the
shot.
days, bro. Those
Yeah.
are the days.
Get the
We
boots
went out
dirty.
to- We went out to L.A. When we went out there with Gruden that last year. I got in that big fight with Sebastian Joseph Day.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was
That
a
didn't go
rumble.
well for him. No,
That was a
definitely.
rumble.
That was a rumble for sure. And that
No fighting in joint practices. Yeah, right.
Max
First
abides by
snap.
that rule.
Right
yeah,
after
it
the
doesn't
stretch lines.
exist. It's
I know.
honestly by the second day, there's no football. It's just, all right, when's the practice gonna get canceled? You already
Exactly.
know what the
Who's
fuck's
gonna
happen.
start a fight? And let's get out of here. Let's get on these buses. Go back to the hotel.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Find
yeah.
the AC.
I mean, well, Gruden would always have us pumped up. Gruden would always be like, hey, if you guys go out there and ball out and play hard in practice, you don't have to play in the preseason game. We'll send you back to Vegas.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, let's go. Fucking, like,
Go
we're out
dumb
there-
hard.
We're out there, and the Rams are chilling that one year. I think both years we played them. Like, they were just coming off the Super Bowl. They were chilling. Then we went out to their place, and, it's the Rams. They're kind of, doing their thing, and we're out there humming, and we're going after their ass.
Yeah.
And I remember just finishing blocks and pass pro, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, this is our game. I do not want to play in this preseason game.
Yeah. This is my Sunday.
This is it, baby.
This
Let's
Wednesday.
go.
This is my Sunday. That's so real though, and it's funny. The coaches, they try to act like, all right, we need to be disciplined, and grown men don't need to fight, and be under control. I'm like, Coach Gruden, I don't give a what it is. There is going to be a fight at some point, and it doesn't
Yes.
matter. And
Yes.
he knew it too. I think he loved it deep down.
Hell
But-
yeah. I mean, you can feel it building in those practices because you go out there and it's like, all right, we're grinding, we're getting our work in, a little chippy here, little chippy there. I mean, you're coming down the stretch, you're doing those last team drills, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
then you get to the next day. I mean, I've done like 3 and 4 day, joint practices with the Browns.
Yeah.
When I was in Buffalo, and we literally practiced the first 2 days, and it was like a jail yard brawl, and they had to cancel the last 2 days of practice.
Yeah, no, for sure. They usually schedule like 2 to 3 days, knowing that at least half of it's not going to happen. They
Yeah.
already know. They already know what it is. The buses are filled and ready to go at an early time. There's no question about it. The NBA Summer League is coming to Las Vegas. Everyone, get the Game Time app. Get your seats. It's going to be legendary. Game Time makes getting tickets for concerts and events faster and easier. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. And these right here are my favorite features. Zone deals. Save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. All-in pricing, toggling this feature, shows this total up front, with no surprise fees at checkout. Last minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THERUSH for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THERUSH for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Max obviously looks up to you. He's one of your OGs. Who was like your OG? Because you got that mean-ass like mentality. You've always probably had that, but who was like a guy for you specifically where you're like, you look at a guy and you're like, we're not really the same. So for you, who helped kind of mold you, mentor you, looked after, early on in the league?
Yeah, so early on, it was a guy named Kyle Turley. He was out of San Diego State, big tackle, He was forever known for throwing the helmet at midfield and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he was in St. Louis before I got drafted there. And when I got drafted there, they gave me his locker, they gave me his number, and he left all his heavy metal CDs in the bottom of my locker.
Yeah.
So it was like the
headbangers.
passing of the torch, and I got to know him and train with him in the off season and pick his brain, and he was a guy I always wanted to be. Orlando Pace, Big O Pace out of Ohio State. I was blessed enough to get drafted, play next to him. He was a hell of a player. I had Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, those guys in early
Studs.
parts of my career. They were really influential on me. Isaac was real big on me about taking care of my body and playing with passion. Torrey was more just like, don't be a idiot, don't f this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played with some OGs when I came into the league. We had offensive linemen that played 13, 14, 15 years. They were in a backup role. They were making a couple $1 million. And I had always wanted to come in and just play as long as possible. I wanted to play till the wheels fell off, play as long as possible. So I looked at these guys, these 14, 15-year vets, and I'm like, if they can do it, I know I can do it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And it's so true because, a guy like you took care of your body. That's something I took from you, and you didn't even probably know it, but just the amount of prehab and the amount of extra work you did on your body every single day just to be able to go out and practice and play in the games was insane. And I'd never seen anything like it. coming from college. You just go to practice, hop in the cold tub, and then go on your way. But seeing a guy like you talk about it going until, your wheels fell off. I remember, speaking of that joint practice, I don't know if you remember this exactly, but we had that big ass brawl, and we're in the locker room. Everyone's like, yeah, I was whooping his ass. Everyone's talking about the brawl and shit. And I remember walking out the locker room, and it was me and you next to each other. And you got off the table with Scotty, and you were limping like crazy.
Bad.
And we're talking, whatever, just shooting the shit. And you were sweating. Like you were struggling just to take a step. And you're like, no, bro, I'm good. And we had like a country mile to go walk to get some food and everything. And I'm like, Richie,
Dude.
don't move. I'm getting you, what are they
golf
called?
cart.
Like the scooter?
crutches.
The crutches,
No, I was
scooter,
gonna get you the
something.
crutches.
Dude,
and we went and
I
got
could
Scotty and
not
got you the
walk
crutches.
after that.
He couldn't, bro. He was taking one step at a time. I'm like, he is not okay. You're like,
Bro.
no, I'm fine. I just rolled my ankle. I'm like, you are not okay, bro. And that was the last time I think
Yeah,
you
that
played,
was it.
bro.
And that calf popped on me, dude. And I kept trying to come back, and every time I would push it, that calf would pop again.
Jesus.
And that's why,
Crazy.
that calf went, and then towards the middle of the season, I was like, all right, we're gonna make another run. Are we gonna rehab? We're gonna come back. And I was like, you know what? This is a good time to hang him up. The body's talking to me. It's time to go.
You did it till the
Yeah.
wheels fell off, like you said you wanted to do.
Yeah, no
right?
doubt, man. I did it.
No, literally. Was it tough? Like, was it a tough pill to swallow at that time? Like, just knowing, like, you obviously didn't know, okay, this is my last time playing, but did it take a while for you to kind of like accept the fact that you're probably not gonna go again?
Yeah, so I had going into the season, I had dealt with like a pulled hamstring in my training, like a little like soft tissue stuff. So the seed was planted in the preseason, like, hey, if I come out here and ball out and I earn another year, then that's easy. I'll go back and play.
Yeah.
But listen, if I have anything pop up physically, if I end the year and I need surgery, or what happened was a bad calf injury, kept trying to rush back. So I was kind of at peace with it because the thoughts were already bouncing around, and that was the first time those thoughts had ever crossed my mind. Leading up to that training camp, I was dealing with the Achilles and the ankle the year before, the calf this year. So it was, obviously a difficult decision, but a lot of thinking, a lot of time went into it. I had a plan in place when I got done and I retired. The plan was go back to school, give myself some structure, stay in the gym, stay in shape. So I felt much better about making the decision to retire because I had that plan in place.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Offensive line, it's one of the toughest positions to stay healthy with. You had a double-digit career. What are some of the things in the offseason that you did to help keep you ready to be able to play that long in your career?
Yeah, I'd say, training in the offseason. I trained down here at Exos. Max has a little experience with Exos, training down here, running, cutting, jumping, doing everything I could to make myself a better athlete. I felt if I was the best athlete I could be the best offensive lineman. So, it started with off-season training. It started with taking care of my body. After practice, 2-hour massage, flying my physical therapist in from Scottsdale, flying my athletic trainer from San Diego, knowing and understanding how to train, how to push the body, but also how to recover, how to take care of the body. So I think a blend of training, knowing and understanding my body, knowing and understanding the type of work my body needed. All the people I work with in the gym, I've been there since 2004. I'm still in the gym in 2024. I hired away physical therapists and athletic trainers and put them on my staff. So, when I got to Oakland, when I was in Vegas, that was a refined process over my whole career of how to take care of your body, how to eat properly, how to sleep. And I think just all those little things add up: nutrition, sleep, recovery, training, film study. It all kind of goes together. But taking care of my body and training right, being strong. I see a lot of offensive linemen in the off season. They go home and they deadlift and they squat and they do all this big burly stuff. Yeah. They don't work on flexibility. The only conditioning they get is doing pass sets or run blocking. So, my thing is, you got to run, you got to be the best athlete, you got to basically tear it down every offseason, rebuild it, and come back a new man.
Amen. I want to ask you, Richie, there's obviously a high level of tenacity and fire in both your game and Max's game. So kind of curious, like what sticks out most to you about Maxx and just the way that he plays the game?
You know, it's passion. It's passion. It's heart. It's everything. You know, when I explain Max's game to people, you know, it's almost if he has just transcended the game. You know, he's able to go out there and send it every play. You know, do these crazy pass rush moves and do all this stuff because of his preparation, because of his grinding. You know, I've seen Maxx. You know, Maxx was in Oakland and he was a skinny guy. You know, he got his shit together for year 2. He's banged up. I mean, literally, what was it? Like hand, ankle, foot. I mean, everything, right? Yeah. And then you see Maxx like make the shift mentally, physically, emotionally. You see him come back and he's like a lunatic. He's crazed. You know, he's in the weight room. He's walking around with these big bags of supplements and food from the nutritionist. Yeah. And, you know, so like, I think people see the end product on the field and they're like, wow, Maxx is crazy. Maxx is this athlete. He's a beast. What really they don't see is behind the scenes, the preparation, you know, Maxx putting time into his body, into his mind, into his health, into his family. You know, you got to get all those ducks in a row to be able to go out there and cut it loose. So that's why I have a tremendous amount of respect for Maxx. You know, I've seen him through his whole NFL journey. And then you watch him go out there and he'll hit a guy with like a reverse spin back to inside, and you're like, dude, that's beautiful.
He's out there hooping.
It's
hooping.
A beautiful thing. And, you know, I just like to see guys that go out there and cut it loose. Like in the NFL, there's so much that just comes down to it. Like, I'm going to beat you one-on-one. You know, we are going to establish our identity. We're going to you up. Yeah, and Maxx brings that to the D-line. He brings that pressure. He brings that. He's in the offensive line's ear. He's doing them dirty. I mean, you know, you see guys go out there get turned around, but it's a mindset. You know, it's like a life force that's in you. And once you understand how to, you know, put the puzzle together, then you can get it to flow. And then once it flows, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you hit it spot on too, and it's something, you know, I learned from you too. Like when I don't even know if you remember this, or you probably do, but when I was at Exos training for the Combine, you were at Exos coming back into the league at that time. And all I knew was from, you know, seeing your highlights and the top 100s and shit like that, and seeing you behind the scenes putting in the work. And I think you were the only vet that was there bright and early every single day, doing all the extra massages, all the extra work. And that was the first time I got to see you do it, you know, when nobody was really looking. And that's what is most important. And like you said, like, the other part that people don't understand about the game, and like you said, cutting it loose and being able to play free and say it, that comes from the ultimate confidence that you receive from doing everything right every day. From waking up, you win immediately by getting up before anybody else in the morning. Then it goes to the breakfast, and then, all right, I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to train right, recover. And that shit, once you do it over time, you do it for a year and then 5 years, and you just keep building on that foundation. And that's something I learned from you and guys like Rodney Hudson. And then, you know, you have your top dogs, the ones that do it for a long time. There's no coincidence. And it's just crazy to see, because for me, it took me, like you said, after my second year, I tore my shoulder, broke my hand again. I was all f***ed up, but it clicked for me. I'm like, I'm in the league one time. I can be a solid player, cool story. You know, I had one offer. I went to Eastern Michigan. I could be a solid NFL guy, or I can do it. Like, I could really take this to the highest level, and I don't even know what the f*** that is. I still am chasing that to this day. And for me, it was my third year. So for you, like, what year was it in the NFL that it clicked for you? You were like, I'm going to get all my ducks in a row. I'm going to start flowing. And then it just, because I know for me, it was like a shift in my head. I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm only going up. That's it. So what year was that for you?
You know, it had to be my second year. I came in as a rookie. I got drafted in St. Louis. I had a tremendous rookie season. And then I went out all off season, drinking, traveling, partying. Came back for camp, high ankle sprain, shoulder fucked up, played in 4 games. And, you know, that was the big thing for me. It's like, all right, we're here. We know we can play. We know we can make a lot of money. You know, you just need to start holding up your end of the bargain. So that was when I kind of started simplifying, boiling it down. And, you know, it took another couple years to kind of find the mojo and, get all the ducks in a row, training, mental, physical, emotional, all that stuff that goes into it. And I'd say right when I got to Miami, like things were firing on all cylinders. Like I knew I was better than everybody. I knew I could outwork everybody. And, it's like being a young player, like the path, but sometimes the path is covered in leaves and you just need to get down and uncover that thing and get to work. Quit feeling sorry for yourself, no excuses, it's on you. So, that was like my wake up call, being able to have success, come back and kind of let the team down. From then on, it lit a fire under me and that fire burned all the way till the end. I always had this thing like, I'd think about stretching or I'd think about lifting or I'd think about something. I'd be laying in bed and I'd be like, do you want to get better? All right, get my ass up, get down on the floor, foam roll. In the summer, you run the conditioning test twice. You're like, do you want to get better? All right, run that thing again. Like, you could see it with you. It's just like
an obsession, bro.
Motivation. Like,
Yeah.
you find it and you hit it and you're like, dude, I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna ride this thing out. And like, once you find it, it's powerful. There's very few ball players that actually find it and get to put it together and get to showcase it. So it's a lot.
No, that's real. And it's like that obsession to feel that feeling after a game when you dominate a. It's like you're chasing that every day and it becomes a habit. And it's like you said, sitting in bed, I can sit and chill, play the video game, and I'll probably be 97% tomorrow version of myself. But if I stretch like I do every night, 365, like these guys are with me. Doesn't matter if it's a Sunday, doesn't matter if we're in a hotel. I will take my full outfit off and do my 12 to 15 minute stretch routine.
Hell yeah.
Before I do anything,
yeah.
but I can't.
Yeah.
I won't let myself
it's
down.
little things like that. It's like adding little things like that. Like, okay, my soft tissue's done. Check. Okay, I got a good lift in. Check. I ate good. Check. You check all the boxes all week. Then on Sunday, that's fun time. There's no nerves, no nothing. Like, let it flow.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about, don't touch the quarterback. It's like, no, I'm hunting that.
Yes.
And I don't have to hear shit from nobody. The hardest part is the build up.
Yeah, that's it, man. And like, I think what people don't understand is, about my game, about your game, to be able to play at that level, play after play after play, you have to be in supreme shape. Like you gotta be one of the best guys on in shape guys on that field to be able to send it over and over. And that's what I took pride in as an offensive lineman. I'm not coming off that field. I am on there for every play. And you're gonna have to deal with me for every play because I've been preparing for this my entire life. I have been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for you. And like you said, you go out there, you dominate, and that's the best feeling in the world. When you got your film study, you're in shape, and you go out there and beat someone's ass. Oh, bro, hang that tape up and put that tape on the shelf and go do it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amen, bro.
So you probably love that Maxx plays every snap of the game, right?
Hell yes. I need him out there. It's the fun thing to watch on defense. I'm looking at like what the is Maxx going to give him now on third down? He's already hit him with the outside half spin chop. He gives you the phantom shoulder and those long arms. He gives you the big dip. I just like seeing tackles sweat because they don't know what to do. Then they start setting out wide. They start setting deep, and then
jumping snap.
False starts, and then you got him, and then that's when Maxx can get in his bag and start cooking. And Maxx, I'd say Micah Parsons, I'd say, there's really only a couple elite guys that understand pass rushing like them because it's so fluid. They're not really worried about what you're doing. They're out there feeling their flow, getting their tempo, getting their rhythm, and then next thing you know, good luck.
Yeah, you're playing basketball, and it's so true. Like, I was gonna ask you the same thing because you were a elite lineman for a long time. Do you have that mindset? You were with Marinelli, so you know how he coached shit. It's the most simple. We're get off, get to the spot, get to the X. I don't give a what they do. They all great faces. I'm getting to where I need to go. Yes. It doesn't matter what they do. Did you have that mindset as an old lineman? Was it all right? I'm gonna get my set, get to my spot. I'm a punch, and it doesn't matter what they do.
That's it, bro. That's it. And that's what I work with all the young offensive linemen on. It's get back to your spot, get back to your intercept point, and let those hands go. Start the fight. It's not hard. Stay square, set with depth, and start the fight. Get the fight started. I see a lot of young offensive linemen struggle with that. They don't know where their spot is. They get out over their spot. They get all up. But my thing was, I'm gonna get back to my spot square. I pretty much know what's coming, blitzes, how you're lined up, what's going on. I know where my help is. I had a really good understanding of the space I was trying to defend, and I wasn't trying to defend Colton's space or Dre or Rodney's. I was just defending my spot. So, yeah, that's my mindset. Get back to the spot, get those hands active. As soon as your feet stop as a defender, that's where my feet have to get going. Yeah. So, okay, boom, I feel you sit down. Okay, here comes the spin, here comes this, so it's pass blocking was one of those things where my pass blocking was like Frankenstein. I took a little bit from this coach and a little bit from this coach.
Yeah.
I kind of just sit back and maul people, but to sit back and play with technique, it was definitely a long adjustment period.
No doubt.
I think that the physical piece and the gifts that you've been given, it's just undeniable, right? But it's more impressive to hear the mental side. Where is that fostered? Where did you establish that, your mentality and the mental fortitude that you have?
That nasty. Where did
Nasty.
talk about that?
Nasty.
The grit.
Talk about that.
Yeah. I got it from my mom and dad. They are they're tough East Coast people. They're from Jersey. My dad was in the Army. He did 2 tours in Nam. He came back. He was a union truck driver. He did tile and marble. So yeah, my dad was a sergeant in the Army. So there was no out there having fun. I grew up playing baseball, and we were very intense with baseball. And I grew up loving the Yankees, and I thought I was going to play professional baseball. But then I grew and I grew and I grew. So there was no around. There was no around from a young age. If you're going to do it, you're going to put everything into it. You're going to max out, and you're going to, my mom always used to say, you don't want to be sitting on a bar chair back home in 20 years talking about, hey, I used to be a great player. I used to be all this, that. And, my dad, from a young age, he was just cut it loose. I want you to play like a wild dog. You play offensive line. You need to be in their shit from the get-go. And, that's what I love doing. I love getting in people's shit, and I love finishing them in the fourth quarter. It's just that constant tapping. It's just that constant tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping. And then, guys break. So I got it from my parents. My parents came over. Their family was immigrants. They all came from Europe, Germany, Hungary, Italy. My parents were first generation. So I kind of got that, this needs to work or we're going back to the old country. This is our
restarted.
Your first fucking ticket.
Yeah.
That
Plan
old
B.
world shit.
Yep.
How much would it irritate you then when you would just see a lineman not have any nastiness to him, or just more of like a finesse lineman? Would that just irritate the shit out of you?
It's my biggest pet peeve ever. Big, huge guys. You got this big guy from Bama or Clemson or wherever. Feet are flying everywhere. He's not lifting anybody off the screen. I know NFL coaches hate that too. I know if you got a big body offensive lineman out of Wisconsin, but he can't move a guy 3 inches off the line.
Yeah.
That pisses me off. But I've seen thousands. I've seen thousands of guys who have the attitude, who have the athleticism, who have everything, but they just can't put it together. And it's unfortunate. But I never wanted to be one of those guys. I just wanted to be one of those guys that just kept getting better and better.
Facts. Hey, from your perspective, how has the game changed, say, back in 2005 from when you were drafted until today's game when you watch it on Sunday?
Yeah, today's game is much more speed-based. When I was playing in 2005, it was much more downhill. It was much more sudden. We had big, old-school 3-4 defenses with the guards uncovered. A big 380-pound nose guard that's not going to move. So I was playing guard versus a lot of 3-4s, and it's a lot of, you're running zone, you're stepping to the end, and then that linebacker is taking your fucking head off.
Yeah.
So, it was just a bunch of savages, man, just a bunch of grown men. There's still some running around in this game today. Maxx is one of them. But, this is more speed-based. This is especially offensive line play. more zone based, more post and go, reach and run. You don't really see a lot of teams, line up and run their shit. The Ravens. The Ravens are kind of the outlier in the NFL, but that's what old school football looks like. Pulling guards, running downhill, quarterback, they got the quarterback that can run. But, it was much more physical. I think we spent more time on task practicing. We had longer off seasons. We had 2-a-days. We had 40 practices in pads before we played our first game.
They played a whole season, 2 seasons.
You show up July 23rd. 2 weeks later, you're playing a preseason game. The game's definitely changed. It's faster. The collisions are down, but there are still big collisions in our game. But it's fun. It's fun to watch the game kind of evolve and the game kind of change, and it's definitely changed a lot in the last 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. You were there with Jeff Fisher, right, as the head coach, and for the
I
Rams.
wasn't there with Fish. No,
I
was
was the
there
head coach at the
Fish.
time.
So my first coach was Mike Martz. I was
Mike
there
Martz.
for the Greatest Show on Turf.
Yep.
I got there at the end of the Greatest Show on Turf to replace a couple of their aging offensive linemen. Played for Martz, played for Scott Linehan, Steve Spagnuolo in Kansas City. He was my head coach. And then, I made the move to Miami. I played for Bill Parcells, Tony Sperano. But my all-time favorite's Gruden. I mean, all-time
All time.
All
Fuck
time.
yes. He's the GOAT.
Dude,
Fucking GOAT. No, Gruden is the man. People don't even understand. He's a legend.
Dude, he's the whole life force behind the entire program. I mean, everybody goes as Gruden goes. You can't show me someone that's going to bring the juice, rally the troops, get the young guys going. Gruden is an institution in this league, and I got caught up in the same bullshit, emails and text messages and all this bullshit. It sucks. It sucks because the game of football is worse off for not having a guy like John Gruden who goes all the way back to Bill Walsh. He would show us 49ers tape of Bill Walsh and the 49ers back in the day. You're sitting there watching it like, wow, these are all Hall of Famers running the same plays. All right, we can do this.
Yeah.
True
You
West
see
Coast
Jerry
offense.
Rice in shorts. He's like, this is how they practice. This is what they did on a Friday, and they're doing the routes in the red zone and shit.
Just
I'll
doing
never
it
forget
fast.
that.
Yeah. I wish we would have practiced like that on Friday.
Yeah, no doubt. We were fucking banging.
Dude,
We were
dying,
definitely banging. Bro, 100%. 100%.
Hey,
You
question.
gotta have your Gruden grinders.
Gruden grinders, knock on wood if you're with me, please.
Hell yeah.
That's one of the best. Yeah, I love it. Hey, so obviously for Max mentioned quarterbacks and linemen, there's like that great relationship that everyone always has. I had the pleasure of playing with Tyrod, who was your teammate and always spoke glowingly about you. So I got to ask you, who is your favorite quarterback that you ever had the privilege of protecting throughout your whole entire career?
Oh, that's tough, man. That's tough.
I'm going to break relationships up here.
Yeah, it's tough. Love Tyrod, T-Mobile, Ty God. We did damage in Buffalo. Me, him, and Shady. We ran amok for a couple.
Y'all ran the rock.
Bro, we were running the rock on everybody. We'd put up 275, and we'd be disappointed we didn't get enough touchdowns.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, we were running the rock. I'd really say Derek. I really like Derek because Derek is probably the best thrower of the ball down the field that I've ever played with. I got there in Oakland, and we do a 2-minute drill, and in practice, Max could tell you, Derek was ice cold. Like, boom, 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 we're off and running. So it was always awesome protecting Derek because it's like, hey, if I give him half a second, like, hey, maybe he might find Waller or Renfro. So, we had a really good, big offensive line. We had Colton, me, Rod, Gabe, Trent, and, that's a big wall. That's a big wall.
Massive.
It's a wall.
So, we went in 19, we went like a couple games. Like, we pitched a shutout, no hits, no sacks, no nothing. So, I'd say Derek's my favorite quarterback because, like, in the 2-minute drill, I was like, all right, Derek, let's go. Years past, the 2-minute drill is like pulling teeth.
Yeah, for sure. No, those couple years, like, I think 2020 and 2021, like, the 2-minute drill, it was, as a defense, we're like, just hold them to 3 and we're going to be straight. Yeah. Every time we went to 2-minute, it was boom, boom, boom. We're straight down the field, and it was over with. Because we had so many guys, and like Gruden, I think Gruden doesn't get enough credit for it, but the way he used certain guys was incredible. Like, he brought the best out of Waller. He brought the best out of Renfro.
Yes.
He made Zay Jones. I mean, Zay Jones had the best years of his career. Nelson Aguilar. Nobody even talks about it. Like, Nelly went crazy in 2020, the COVID year. But yeah, it just shows like Gruden is, I mean, when it comes to offense and knowing how to air the ball out and get guys involved, like Gruden's one of the best to do it, period.
Dude, he's an encyclopedia of knowledge, and he just sits down and he's all about matchups. Like, all right, we got this guy on Hunter, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Then you got Waller. I mean, we never really had a true number one. We had Tyrell in 19 and 20. I mean, Nelly was probably our number one. And,
Antonio Brown.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I wanted him to play so bad. They had his locker next to mine, and I'm like, dude, we just got to get through the season, man. Like,
What were those
Man.
conversations like in that locker room then between the two of you?
We were this close. We almost had him.
bro, like another couple days, dude. Bro, if we would have had him and Hunter and Waller and Moreau and Tyrell, I mean,
Bro.
we would have been dangerous, bro. He was a missing piece in 19, dude. I mean, he would go off and walk through, and you're just like, damn, bro, did he just do that?
Yeah. Bro, he would run 100 yards. He would snag it on the corner of his helmet, fucking run through the back of the end zone, bring the ball back, do the same thing, back to back to back. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. God.
CTE
I mean-
ESPN?
Yeah.
CTS.
There was a 4 to 5 year
Real
stretch
follow.
where he was unguardable. I mean,
He's
unguardable.
hilarious now on Twitter. I do wake up every day and I'm like, all right, what's
Yes.
he saying?
Exactly.
Must
You
follow.
gotta
No.
tune in.
Must
His
follow.
Twitter is unbelievable. It doesn't stop.
And he doesn't lie half the time. He just says what
Yeah,
everybody's thinking.
That's the best
Dude,
part.
God, that's like the biggest what if of my career, I think, so far.
Yeah,
Imagine
100%.
if we had AB.
What
bro.
if we had Antonio, man? Because we had Josh run the ball. Josh is one of the best zone runners I've ever seen.
Insane.
You know, we got him 1,200 yards, I think, in his rookie season, something like that. You know, Renfro moving around. Tyrell, you know, he was fast. He had some speed, and then you had AB just dicing him up. I mean, you give Gruden AB and Waller, oh boy.
Oh my God,
Oh,
I
boy.
can't even imagine, bro. Because you talk like Gruden talks about Waller, and he said it out. Like after his first 2 years, he was like, Waller's the best player I've ever coached.
Yes.
And Waller was, I mean,
He was
looking
arguably the
like
best
a-
tight end at that time.
He was snapping.
Oh, he was him. Yeah, he was him.
It was
He was him.
Did you hear the story of how they discovered Waller? They
Yeah.
they were like in pregame warmups in Baltimore, and they saw this guy running routes, and they're like, "Who the is this guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in a lab, that dude's a freaking mutant, dude.
Yeah, Waller. I mean, you know, that's kind of the whole disappointing thing about Gruden, because like it was all coming together 2021. The offense was firing all cylinders. The defense was coming around. You know, you guys under Gus were playing well.
Yeah.
You weren't giving up the deep plays. You know, I want to see it all come together. Offense, defense, and just go ball.
I know, bro. It's crazy how that shit all went down too, and it just happened like that. It literally a snap of a finger and boom. And I remember being home too. Like when I got the call, I was like, "What the is going on?" I couldn't believe it, bro. I thought it was like a prank. And then
I know.
it just boom. Next morning, Bisaccia is in and we're rolling. And it was you had no time to think. It's middle of the season. You're like, "F it, all right, let's go."
Yeah, that's it. You're in the
Crazy.
season, just f- it and go. Yeah, that was one of the. You know, you're around for so long in the NFL. You're like, I've seen it all, and then you see that like, all right, this is pretty far out there.
Well,
Yeah,
never
that
mind.
trumps all.
It's only getting crazy.
That's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one.
You mentioned obviously you went through your own fair share of struggles when mentioning Gruden. Did you guys ever have like a conversation between the two of you guys during that time, or I don't know, just like a checkup period? I know I talked to Max once. He was just leaving Gruden's house after the fact, which obviously proves the relationship he had with all of you guys.
Yeah, tremendous amount of respect for Gru and love him, and you know, like after it went down, just trying to support him. You know, he was always so supportive of us, and like he cared about everybody on that team, from your starting quarterback all the way down to the 53rd guy on the roster. So everyone had a special connection with Coach. I just stayed on him, stayed positive, tried to send him some funny stuff. My parents live down in Naples, Florida, so whenever I'm down there, I go up to Tampa, play golf with him. So he's in good spirits. He's great. He's got his office. He's watching film. He's breaking things down. But I just love to see him back in the game, man. He's good for football.
Yeah, sure, he's a hell of a scramble partner. The one-liners would be fucking.
I went down there and beat his ass in some golf. We're playing at his place, Avila, and there's this tree down there on a par 5, and he's like, "I bet you can't hit it over that tree." I was like, "All right, what is it?" Like literally hit the most perfect shot of my life in front of coach. Just belted. It goes up. It catches a little air, fluffs over the tree down in the middle of the fairway. He's like, "I've only seen John Daly hit that shot." Fucking ain't right, coach.
Fucking right.
Yeah, that's right.
Richie
Put him
Daly.
in good company.
Richie Daly is all I hear.
Richie Daly. Stop playing.
Oh
with
yeah.
him.
He's got to be probably competitive as hell, huh?
He's coach. He's coach. We're playing, and I messed up a wedge shot, and he just throws down another ball. He's like, "Hey, get down on that a little bit." He's just throwing balls down, and I'm hitting, and he's coaching me up, and he's coach is coach.
That doesn't surprise me at all. It's funny, just to speak, to add on that. Coach Gruden is one of the dudes who, like you said, if your tire popped in the middle of a snowstorm, he's the one that's going to show up and pick you up. I was sitting. This is like a year after the whole thing went down, and my parents live in Texas, and all of a sudden I get a FaceTime from my mom, and I pick up the phone, just random as I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" Boom, answer the phone. It's Gruden with my parents, eating dinner. I'm like, what the is going on right now? I'm being pranked. And they're like, "Oh yeah, coach, Cindy texted me and we were in town, so we hit up your parents, got dinner." I'm like, they're the best, bro. Literally, it just shows the type of dude he is. So every time we get to talking about him, I have to give him his flowers because I hate that shit is the way it is. But he'll be back. He'll be back very soon. I have zero doubt.
That's our dude, man. Hey, we had the pleasure of playing with him for 3 years, and I mean, it was some of the best years of my career playing out there. Got to Oakland. I was out of the league, and I got out there, and here's a good one for you. So I went out there to Oakland, and I did the physical and stuff like that, and then they had to check with the league, how many game suspension am I going to get before they signed me. Yeah. So it was like I went up there, all the media gets kicked up, everybody's like, "Incognito's coming back." I'm like, I go home, they don't sign me, and I'm like, dude, there's no way they're going to sign me. They're my name, I'm all over SportsCenter. So 2 weeks later, they sign me. They say, "Hey, come up. We're starting OTAs on Tuesday. It's after Memorial Day. Come up." I talked to Gruden. Gruden's like, "Hey, we're going to ease the boat in the water. We're not even going to have you practice until training camp." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm going to drive up." So I have my truck. I stop at Hermosa Beach. Just rip it up for 2 days. Yes. One day, drive up to Oakland, get up to Oakland. We go to meetings. I don't know the offense. I don't know anybody's name. I don't know where the anything is. And I go into the training room, and I'm like, "Hey, Gruden said on the phone I'm not practicing." And they're in there like, no one's told us you're practicing. So Vontez is in the locker room. He's like, "Yeah, you better get taped up." I'm like, "All right, cool." Get taped up, go out on the field, don't know a play. And after the first walkthrough, Cable's like, "Hey, jump in there." All right, let's go. So jump in there. I got Rodney telling me what to do every day, or every play. So I got up there, and it was such a whirlwind of emotions. It was like, "Hey, I'm going to sign with them." "No, I'm not." "Okay, I'm going." And then that was just a magical year in Oakland. We had training camp in Napa. We had a terrible schedule with all those road games, but that's what was so cool about Gruden, because it was like, all right, the league us, them. We're going to have motivation in this. We're going to go on the road, them. We're going to go to London, beat their ass. We're going to come back. So, yeah, that was just that was just a wild year for me. I went from out of the league to back in it, to we go to London. We beat Chicago. Yeah. We're down the stretch. We almost make the playoffs. Now we're going to Vegas. So it was awesome.
Yeah, that year was wild, to say the least. Was it, you played on 4 teams in your career, correct? Yeah, 4 teams. Was it ever in your, everybody has their own imagination and thought of all right, this is what I want my career to be. For me, I want to be on the same team. That's something, I want to win here, stay here. Was that something like as a young guy? Was that something that you wanted to do? Is like I want to stay with the Rams my whole career, or you kind of just went with the flow of it?
Well, when I got to the Rams in 05, I think from 05 to 09, we're like 20-60. Like we were so bad. Like I could not wait to get out of St. Louis because you get caught up in it. Like I got drafted here, we got to make it right, we got to win, like we got to get this thing going. And then like you sit back and you watch what the organization's doing and who they're bringing in and who they're signing to big money, and you're like, you just get frustrated. You're like, well, we will never win with these guys. And then you go out there and I had a 2-year stretch where I won one game. We had won one. We went 1-15 and 2-14, and I was hurt for one of the games. So like I won 1 or 2 games across, 2 seasons. So that's like my career and my name and everything started in Miami because I went down to Miami. I was playing for some tough guys. We were playing a tough brand of football. So yeah, my mindset was like, like we got to get over the hump. We got to win. And then it was like, fucking make the playoffs. You just kind of keep going up the list of what you want to accomplish. But my goal was just play as long as possible, make as many Pro Bowls as possible. Make the guys around me better, and just enjoy it.
I love it. No, that's awesome. And I think it's crazy about your career. Obviously, a lot of adversity and different things going on, but you going to Buffalo, playing with Rex Ryan, LaShawn McCoy, Tyrod, and all them. You made, I believe, three Pro Bowls in a row, right?
Yeah,
in Buffalo, 3 in a row, playing some of the best ball after all that shit. What was that feeling like? Was that like, because all that shit happened in Miami. You got a ton of heat. They're like, get this out the league, and then it was like, all right, I'm back, and you just went in and balled out. What was that feeling like, and just the wave of emotions during that time?
It was nuts, man. It was nuts because the shit went down. The report comes out. It's bullshit. Okay, cool. No one will sign me. No one will touch me. So I spent the next year in the weight room just grinding exos every day, grinding. I was so depressed and so out of it. The only thing that kept me going was like the chance of coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm out. No one will touch me. It's the next Super Bowl. It's here in Arizona. I'm miserable. Like everyone's in my hometown. I'm not playing. I don't know if I'm ever going to play again. My agent calls me up and he's like, "Hey, Buffalo's in the mix." I had been there before. I played a couple games there earlier in my career, so I was familiar with it. So they call me up. I go down to Boca Raton, meet with the owners. Fly up to Buffalo, take the physical, sign with them, and then at that point, I was like scared. Like, do I still have it? Can I still play? I've been doing all this work, but am I in shape? Do I still have the same strength? And then coming back and making 3 Pro Bowls in a row, it was just like, F you.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yes.
People left me for dead.
Pull it out
over some bullshit. We could talk about it 7 ways to Sunday. Bullshit. Okay, cool. You tried to get me. But now that I'm back, I took it out on the entire NFL. I took it out on everybody. I wanted to be so dominant and have so much success. It was one of those things where I had to come back and I had to prove myself. And I came back a better version of myself. I came back a better athlete. And, it was powerful stuff. It was powerful stuff to be able to come back and play well, make a Pro Bowl, be recognized by your peers as one of the best. And, that was it, man. It was a tremendous feeling after all that hard work and all that pain and all that suffering to come out on the other side. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's legendary, bro. And I love it. Dana White talks about that shit all the time. He's like, shit's gonna come your way. You're gonna have crazy adversity, and everyone thinks you're gonna go and crawl and sit and hide in your house. He's like, those. I'm gonna keep showing up, and I'm gonna make you all even more mad by winning. Period.
Hell yeah.
And I love that, bro. That's what I love about you, bro. That shit is incredible. And people don't talk about it enough. 3 Pro Bowls after sitting the whole year out is unbelievable.
It's crazy,
unreal,
bro. I look back on it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Shit happens for a reason, bro.
There's beauty in the struggle, baby.
I mean, like you've come to learn in life, like everything could be going great. There's going to be some unpredictable shit that pops up. That's life. Yeah. It's one of those things where you could sit there and you kind of get caught in the headlights like, oh, what's happening? What do I do? or you could just get back to what you know, and that's hard work, preparation, dedication. Yeah, you know, I've been smacked with adversity over and over and over. Some I brought on myself, some kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I think that's what kind of hardened me into the person that you saw in 19, 20, and 21. You know, ton of confidence. You know, it's coming from here. It's coming from my soul at that point.
Yeah, man. No, that's real, bro.
Yeah. How
That's
grateful
real.
are you from all that? I know it's probably tough in the moment when you were going through it, but looking back on it now, like, you probably feel indestructible. I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you go through something like that, you figure out you're not indestructible. So
Right.
you kind of got to rebuild it from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's wild. It was 10 years ago, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it. And it was really great motivation to kind of get me back on track. 15, 16, 17, balling out, making Pro Bowl. So it was the hardest thing I've ever went through in my life. It was like an ongoing thing, but to be able to come out on the other side of it, yeah, you do feel a little bulletproof. You're like, dude, if I can survive that, you know, bring it on.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It just makes you who you are, and you got to own the moment, even though it's hard as. And in the moment, you're like, poor me, but at the same time, you look back on it and be like, that shit made me exactly who the I am today. And I know it personally. I've been through, I mean, people don't even know the half, but like adversity, addiction, all that type of shit. In that moment, it sucks. You feel like you're the only one on earth going through that type of shit. And then you just realize it's life, bro. You have no control of half of it. And you either going to keep getting back up or you're going to, fall. So I just want to give you your flowers, bro. I respect the shit out of you for not only that, but just what you've done with your career, bro. It's legendary.
Appreciate it. No, hell no. It was fun, man. It was a wild fucking ride.
Amen. Amen.
The last thing.
Let's get to this.
Last thing before we get to the segment, I see a lot of Cornhusker behind you. Max already asked Will Compton this question, so we have to get yours.
Oh shit.
Eastern Michigan and Nebraska line up. Roll the ball out. Who's winning? Look at him.
EMU.
Don't disrespect him.
EMU.
Look at him. He's
Disrespect them.
We win 3 games in the Big Ten a year, and it's like I can't talk shit to anyone. Like it's like we can't even beat Minnesota. Like I mean, line it up. Eastern Michigan might win by 30, but
wow.
Hey!
Send to Will Compton, right?
Go.
Yeah.
We're
I mean,
clipping that.
you know,
That's money line bet.
It's been tough being a Husker the last 2 decades. I mean, it's been difficult, but we got our quarterback of the future. I hope he balls out. I hope he get us going. But yeah, if I would have say last year or the last 5 years we line up with anybody, it's anybody's game.
Amen. FCS, FBS, you never know.
That shit don't matter.
Yeah,
I remember this is one of the coolest moments about Maxx that Gruden had. It was like in his maybe rookie or second year, and it shows Maxx when he first got to Eastern Michigan, and like he's got like a 25 on the bar, and he's struggling, and the video's going. He's got the 135, 185, 225, 315. Like that shit was so hype. Like that's just like. It's just like, dude, this kid came from nothing.
Way.
He's
Bro,
a skinny fucking white kid.
When I got to
from
Eastern, I couldn't bench
Michigan.
225.
He's tall, he's lanky, and now he's out here just doing everybody in.
I'll hit you with the Mount Rush. So we do this segment is called Mount Rush. We ask every single person who are their 4 greatest players at their position. So your Mount Rushmore of NFL guards, in your opinion, Richie Incognito.
Oh man, there's so many good ones. I'd say Larry Allen. You know, Larry Allen was, rest in peace. You know, he was a beast, man. He was like the size of a refrigerator. And this dude would sit back, and I mean, he could punch a hole in your chest.
Yeah.
I really like Steve Hutchinson. Steve Hutchinson was a guy who played for the Seahawks. He played for the Minnesota Vikings. Undersized guy, but just real crisp technique. Learned a lot from him as a young player. I'd say a fellow Husker, Will Shields. Cornhusker, played for the Chiefs, Hall of Famer. He was a stud back in the day. He was him.
Himothy.
Kimmy.
He was Himothy. And let's see another guard.
Yes.
Alan Faneca. Alan Faneca was a hell of a player with the
Yeah, he was.
Steelers.
Oh God, shut up.
Logan Mankins,
Brought
too.
it up.
Logan Mankins from the Patriots.
He was a dog.
He was a dog, bro.
He was a
He was a dog. I learned a lot from him watching tape growing up. So yeah, I'd say those are the top guys in my mind.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. I mean, you start with Larry Allen, you just go from there. I mean,
Yeah,
Larry
it's all
Allen's-
downhill from there, man.
Yeah, that dude is, different breed. Who's your, I know I don't want to get off topic, but who's your top guard in the league right now?
Shoot, top guard in the league. I'd say Zach Martin when healthy. I like Lindstrom in Atlanta. I
Yep.
think
Kelly in
I think that Lindstrom kid's a stud. I watch him run the outside zone and he gets it. Who are some other good guards right now? Shit.
Yeah, Lindstrom's underrated. He came in with me. He's been all pro a couple times already. So
Bro, he's good, man. He's really good. He's as an offensive lineman to run the zone scheme, you got to make sure you're not running parallel to the line of scrimmage, and he's able to get punch and lift, and he's legit.
yeah, those are two legit dudes right now. What do you think about Quentin Nelson?
I like Quinn. I'd like to see him develop his game a little more. More just I smash everything, smash.
Yeah.
I want to see a crisp pass block set. I think Quentin's a hell of a player. I want to see the development, see him getting better every year.
Yeah, that next step for sure.
That next step, man. There's there's always something you can improve on. There's always a little something you can clean up.
So this is just quick. It'll be either this or that, and then tell me why. So for the first one, if you could hypothetically win one, would you rather win a national title or a Super Bowl, and why?
Oh, Super Bowl, hands down. Yeah, Super Bowl, that's the one. Super Bowl, it's so hard and it's so elusive. I haven't even been close to sniffing one. But that's the ultimate goal. That's what you think about every day is being a champion.
Amen. And then speaking of the Super Bowl, it's played in February. Do you think it should be played indoors or outdoors?
I just want the Super Bowl played on a good field, not the bullshit we had down here in Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's indoor, outdoor, no cold cities. And
Sure.
I want to see a fast track. I want to see no weather. I want to see just two great teams. Here it is, everyone laying it out. I think the Eagles and the Chiefs were battling the turf here in Arizona, and I hate to see that. I hate to see that,
Sure.
especially on such a big stage.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then if it were up to you, would there be 16 or 17 games in a year, and then 1 or 2 bye weeks in a year?
Man, I mean, I'm old school. I like 16. I think 17's nuts, 18's nuts. You can cut out all the preseason games, but you're not cutting out that week of practice leading up to that 17th
Sure.
game or that 18th game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those things where they do get to 18 and then they do add in the second bye week because there's no
Has
way
to, right? You can't hold
kind
that
of
long.
manage the system to where you get enough rest to play over 18 weeks. So
Yep.
Yeah.
keep it 16, 2 preseason games, 16, get everybody to the postseason healthy, and then let the boys run.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Being an offensive lineman, I'm sure you can appreciate this. The best food in which of the 3? Miami, Buffalo, or Vegas?
Well, Buffalo for like bar food, like wings, beef on weck. I mean, everything unhealthy. Italian, chicken parm. I mean,
Sure. Anything fried.
world
Anything
class.
horrible
Like
for
any
you.
bar food, like it's incredible. You can go into any restaurant in Buffalo and get premium wings, like awesome.
Yeah,
stuff.
the best wings of all time.
Miami's more, the scene, the
Sure.
the babes
Ambiance.
going out, and then Vegas is like the food capital of the world, man. Like there's so much good food in Vegas.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in terms of the off season, what is the best city to visit? Las Vegas or Miami, and why?
Off season,
Yep.
The W in Scottsdale. I've seen you.
I
There.
mean that's hard to
Some
beat.
CBD.
That's hard to beat.
I've seen
That's
you.
hard
There.
to beat. I'd say, Miami off season. It's nice because you can go to the beach. It's nice because there's a ton of stuff going on. You got F1, you got tennis, you got all this stuff going on. But Vegas is cool because Vegas is chill. Like you can be in Vegas and just grind and just be at the facility and do your thing and like be able to go downtown and get food and stuff like that. Like we all handled that really well. So it's just 2 sides of a coin.
Absolutely.
No
I
doubt.
appreciate you, brother.
Hell yeah, good shit. Good shit, good shit. Talk
We got
to
the
him,
Rushmore,
D.
so these are fan-submitted questions. Sanjeet_T says, does Richie prefer zone or power schemes, and why?
That's a good question. If I was running a team, I would run the wide zone because I think you could teach young offensive linemen, you could teach any offensive lineman to run the zone game. You want to get into the power game, you want to get in the gap scheme, you have to handpick some people. You have to have some people with some talent. You have to understand double teams. Pulling is a huge thing. Guys don't pull in college. So, yeah, I would say if I were running a team, I'd run wide zone with a little duo and then sprinkle in some toss crack and a little bit of power.
Yes.
Andre James 77, shout out to the guy.
Yes.
Here we
Raptors.
go.
This fucking
Andre
guy.
wants
yeah.
to know, what's a shrimp check?
Shrimp check is something we had back in the locker room. You know, we would just, we were just checking out each other's muscles.
Nice piece over there.
You had a shrimp or a tuna.
Shrimp check.
Yeah. Bust that thing out. Let me see how heavy it is. Put it on the scale.
Our producer, Roach. Shout out to Roach. He's like, hey, what's a shrimp check? I said,
Yeah.
it definitely.
You'll find out.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
You know, offensive linemen, we're immature, man. Anything.
As soon as you said locker room, I'm like, yep, here we go.
Yes.
All right, Jay Luna Jr., if you could have played next to any old lineman in history, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say like old school Raiders, like Jim Otto. What's his name? He was the leader of Gene Upshaw.
I was going to
back
say
in those
Gene
days,
Upshaw.
Those old throwback. I would have loved to play with Walter Jones too. He played in Seattle, and he was a f***ing dog. It was like, you know, back in the day, it was who's the best tackle? Was it Jonathan Ogden, Orlando Pace, and Walter Jones?
Yeah.
And I'd say Orlando's probably the smoothest and the best pass blocker, but Walter Jones in the run game's a f***ing dog. So I would like to play with Walter.
Love it. That's all we got for the Rushmore. Appreciate the questions.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, shit. That is all we got today. Richie, I love you, bro. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said before, bro, you're a living legend. Hope all is great on your side of things. If we ever get down to Scottsdale, we got to come, play some golf.
Yes.
Yes,
you
sir.
get
Come down
after
here.
it with
We'll do the
boys.
pod from the house.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, we got to do it in person out in Scottsdale. It's not too far. It's like a, 45-minute, hour
45
flight.
minutes.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
even?
Quick flight.
Yeah.
Quick
if
flight.
that.
Oh, yeah. So we'll definitely make that happen. But we appreciate you, bro. You already know. I love you, man.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it. You love you, brother.
I'll see you
Oh,
on
yeah.
the sideline very
Yes,
soon.
sir.
You already
Appreciate
know,
you, man.
brother.
Walk up in the light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him on God. Walk up in his light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him.